my name is Farhana Parveen. I'm a Media and Communication student from University of Coventry, and today we have Mr. Jarvis from MediaCorp Eagle Vision working as an assistant director. So, Mr. Jarvis, how long have you been in this industry?
Hi, I've been here for about 5 years. I joined in 2013 in September.
That's interesting, that's long. So, what attracted you to this field?
I've never actually studied anything regarding this field. I'm a bachelor. I got bachelor's in business and diploma for engineering. So I started out as a runner just for extra income after my army days, and yeah, it's got me stuck on until today.
So, can I say that you already had a passion in media industry?
No, you can't say that because I never had passion for the industry. I do have now, so like I said, I just joined for part-time duties.
Could you describe a typical day in your working office?
Okay, there are two kind of typical days. One is in office, pre-production and post-production. The other one is during the entire production phase. Start off with pre-production. It's mostly probably 9 to 6, just regular office hours. We have to cover as much as possible during these 9 hours that we have. And during production, that is a tough part. That's the most challenging part. What we do during production is, I would probably say we go up to at least 18 hours a day. It could go for 7 days a week. It's really intense. It could go up to my record is about 27 hours a shot in a day. That's more than a day actually. Yeah, so my typical working days, like going for shoot in the morning, can go as early as 7 a.m., 8 a.m. It all depends on how many scenes we have to shoot for a day and how many scenes we have to shoot for night, and if we can shift any night scenes to day scenes so we can finish it early. But it's typically about, I would say, 12 to 18 hours. That's typical for a day.
Wow, seems pretty long. So like, what do you find the most enjoyable when you're working? What's the most fun thing to do?
The most fun thing, the reason why I am still here after 5 years is because it's not a desk job. It's something that people will love to do. You are mostly just out of office and you are meeting new people, meeting new friends, and artists are not artists to you, they are more like friends. And yeah, you're just spending your time outside and filming. Although it's hot, it gets late, but it's very productive, and it's just not something that you would hate to do.
But is there any challenging moments or negative in your job?
I think this job is not for everyone. If you have to be patient and you have to be willing to work long hours. You have to be willing to do stuff on your off days, and you also have to be able to communicate with everyone. When I mean everyone, is people of all kind of characters. Not everyone is going to be nice to you. So challenges wise, yes, of course, there are plenty of challenges, but if you know how to stand your ground, if you know what you want, if you can think of a solution on the spot, then you will not have any problems.
Okay. As someone who has entered this industry, where would you hope to be in 5 years' time?
In 5 years' time, I would hope to be here, but obviously with higher rank, better position, better designation. I would like to see myself as a scriptwriter, writing scripts, not the dialogues, just the screenplay, and probably as a director.
So how do most people enter this profession?
Most people enter this profession because of the passion for media. They see, like, they watch shows and they have this passion to act or to be to contribute behind the screen. So it all depends on which aspect they want to join, either in front or behind the screen. But mostly, they usually find passion through TV because that's the only way. Unless you're speaking on radio, because it's a different ballgame.
So are there too many or too few people entering this profession currently?
There are actually too few people entering this profession, or rather, too few well-driven people. Like these days, people they think that they are entitled to everything, so they come in here with the basic salary and then they work more than they're supposed to and they start complaining, they start leaving. So with this kind of mentality, you can't really go far in the media industry. You are supposed to work hard to get to where you want to be in the future. So it's just because of that people are actually afraid and they think that in the media industry you can't actually prosper, but actually you can. It's just you have to have that mentality to do it.
So how do you define having a good camera skill?
From my experience working with all these directors of photography, I can safely say that you don't actually just listen to what the director says. You give in your inputs, like your director says, I want this shot, that shot. But if you feel that it's not right to do this shot, that shot because of lightings and maybe the backdrop or something, and then you as a director of photography or the cameraman voice out your own opinion, it actually makes you a really good cameraman because you don't only know what you want, you also you are able to tell the director that you have other options. So you don't just go for wide shots and then close up and then show over the top shoulder. It's a typical shot, but you try to go for something artsy, something from like bottom. Something where you establish the environment at the same time you establish your artist. So, like all these aspects of video production, you will actually see them in a cameraman because the more vocal they are, the more they express their opinions. It brings them out as a better cameraman. I mean, it's always better to voice out than just keep quiet and follow what people say.
Why do you think people leave this field?
Because they are just in here for the money. People also leave this field because they are here with the wrong mentality and the wrong set of goals. Because this is not a place for you. It's not industry for you to just prosper overnight. You have to really work your way up. I mean, you're not the only one trying to direct a film, and you can't just direct a film. You have to have the support, and in order to have that support, you have to establish yourself as someone who's good, like better than average, someone who's able to come out with a really good product, someone who gives confidence into people to want to invest in you so that you can come out with a film. And not everyone is like that, so you have to build your name out with that. So to do that, you have to work odd hours. You have to work a lot. You have to really work really hard. So people leave this field because they just don't have that mentality. They don't have a drive.
Who are the most influential people in this industry today?
Okay, influential people, I'm only going to name a few based on my experience. Number one, I would say Mr. Raja Gopal. He is the director of the film A Yellow Bird, which is on Netflix, and it also entered an international art film festival. Very proud product of Singapore. Second and third people, this Mr. Kumran and Mr. Don. Mr. Kumran is someone whom I've been working with for the past 5 years, and Don as well. So these two directors are people who I can see will go really far. The way they take their shots, the way they direct their shows is very different from what normal directors do. They think out of the box. They look for various items or props to use for every scene. They just want to make every scene interesting on TV. Yeah, so with this, artists will not be artists without the directors. The directors always work really hard to bring out the maximum potential of every artist. So I wouldn't say the actor or the actress is the most influential. I would say that the people who are bringing their potential are the most influential.
So would you say that the work involve any lifestyle changes, such as frequent traveling or late nights?
Okay, yes, obviously it will affect your social life, your lifestyle. You don't get to go out every week as planned. You don't get to pre-plan your stuff. You can't on Monday you can't plan for Saturday because you never know what's going to happen. You can plan on Friday for Saturday for, you can plan a Sunday on a Saturday, but not for a Saturday night on Wednesday night, because you will never know. On Thursday, scenes might get cancelled, and those scenes have to be put on Saturday, and then you have to bail on your friends. So my theory is never plan until the day before. It's always last minute. So yes, traveling wise, obviously, I can't be traveling while during the production phase, because as an assistant director, I have to be here to oversee everything. Actually, I'm the guy who's executing filming, so if I'm not here, then there is really no point shooting, because my director has to work with somebody else, and it breaks the flow. So yeah, I have to cut down, but it's not that I cannot do it. I can. Instead of 7 days, probably I can go for 3 days, and I have to make sure that I schedule it properly in a way where I have shot the films, shot the scenes that is required for the week, just so that I can go for a 3-4 day holiday. But when I come back, then there's a cannonball effect. So we have that workflow to cover up when we come back. So people usually don't go; they just wait.
Considering all the people that you have met in your field, what personal attributes are essential for success?
This job requires a lot of patience. I think I've said patience about 4 times now in this interview. Yes, patience and the communications, and just open-mindedness, and willing to think on the spot, coming up with solutions for problems and not problems for problems. When you are facing a problem, you don't go to a director and tell him the problem. You go to a director and explain the solution before telling the problem. You always must have the solution in hand before coming out with the problem, because because the director depends on you for the set to go on. So if an artist is late, you don't go and tell the director, oh, bro, the artist is late. You tell him, bro, she'll be here in about 15 minutes, she's late. Yeah, so at least he knows that it is still going to happen. You tell the good news first before the bad news. You don't just go out with the bad news without telling him the solution.
Okay, so amateurs and technologies are killing it for professionals. Can you comment on this?
Amateurs and technology is killing. I don't think it's killing. I think it's more of, technological advancements is inevitable. It's just going to get more advanced every year. But that doesn't mean the professionals shouldn't adapt to it. I think it's a moderate thing. It's something in between. You have to meet in between. Like, yeah, professionals, they have the lenses the size of this, but the amateurs are using the phone. But if the amateurs are taking nicer shots with this phone than these fellas with the huge lenses, then how can you say that it's killing the professionals? It's not. It's just that people are being more simplistic, using simple products to make something really huge. So you have something huge, you have to make something bigger. It's not. Yeah, ultimately it's just adaptation for both sides. Yeah, so I don't think it's killing the professionals. The professionals just have to learn to adapt or probably grow.
That is actually very true. I agree. Do you have any advice for students like me who wish to pursue in this industry?
Yes, my first advice would be never be a pushover. You always have to stand up for yourself. And one thing is to listen, the other thing is to execute. Your execution has to be really top notch. You are the last person to make mistakes, because people depend on you. Everyone depends on you. As an assistant director, you come up with the props, you come up with the timings for every artist, you come up with, you basically, you are the person who's running the show. So if you forget to bring something or forget to do something, it affects the entire set. Yeah, people make mistakes, but you have to be able to cover up for yourself, and you have to be able to justify, and you also have to be able to make people believe that this is an honest mistake and it's not something that will happen every day, because if that's the case, then you are certainly not fit for the job. And Another thing is when you're out filming, yeah, you will come across days where you're filming really big artists who come on TV and people go ooh, but you are the last person on set to be that person. You cannot go up there asking for autographs or taking photos. You have to be really professional. It's something that newcomers don't really get because yeah, they are starstruck and everything, but as someone who's working behind the screen with the artist, you are obliged to be very professional with them. You have to tell them what you need from them, and in a way where they will respect you and they will give you what you need. And when you have to be able to obviously speak up for yourself if they say otherwise, but usually that's not the case. Artists in Singapore are usually they are nice. They know what to expect from people they are working with. But yeah, I mean, there's always the bad props. You have to be able to handle them and never complain about the timing, the workload, because yeah, it's inevitable. You have to be able to work long hours and you have to be able to come up with solutions for all problems and think on the spot.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jarvis, for your time and
You're most
advice.
welcome.